Hey guys, it's Michael here from the Kummer Homestead. In today's video we want to show you how we built a raspberry trellis or a trellis for our raspberry bushes. Now we already have one here, but we're gonna build the same one again down there where we have more raspberry bushes, and the only thing you basically need for that is some lumber. We have here 4x4s. These ones are pressure treated. For the other one we decided to go with untreated lumber, and then we just stained it with a natural coating that's non-toxic. The other thing that you need is a couple of lag screws, eye hooks, and a couple of washers, a drill, and a circular saw or some sort of saw, because we're going to be doing some sawing. And that is pretty much it. I'm going to list everything that you need down in the description, so don't worry about catching everything. I'll have links to Home Depot and Amazon. And let's get a little closer and I'll show you what we'll be building here. So the concept is fairly simple. We have one post, it's 8 foot long, and I dug a hole and buried it 2.5 to 3 feet. I didn't pour any concrete or anything. It's, you know, good enough as it is. And then we basically cut to size 2 pieces of shorter. I think those are maybe 3 feet or so. The other ones down there we're gonna be 2 feet. We're gonna do 2 feet, so they're gonna be sticking out almost a foot on each side, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how much space we have when we get down there. And then you might have to get a little closer here. We basically cut into this post here about halfway in, and we did the same on the cross post, so we can basically put them together and they almost line up nicely. I mean, it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. And we did the same thing down here. So what's important for making those cuts here is knowing that these 4x4s are actually 3.5 by 3.5. And since we're gonna cut in halfway, we're not gonna be cutting in 2 inches, but only 1.75 inches. So that's why it's important to know that these are not really, the 4x4s are not 4x4. And yeah, then we drill a couple of holes. Well, here we just put in the lag screws, so it's all nice and tight. And here we drill holes all the way through so we can attach those eye hooks. And then on this side here, from eye hook to the eye hook on the other side, we have aluminum wire, but any wire will really do. We just used aluminum, and the reason why we use the eye hooks is because we can easily then tighten it up by just screwing it in a little bit more, and so we can tighten these up, which we haven't done yet. And that is pretty much it. So as you can see, then we have 3 wires down there, we have 3 up here, and that helps you to just guide the plants through those wires, and you know, they don't fall over and don't grow crazy. Down there, I think what we're gonna do is we're only gonna have 1 hook on each side. I think 3 is overkill, so we're gonna go with 1 and 1 on the upper and on the lower level, and that's pretty much it. So let's walk down and let's measure everything out and let's get going. All right, so we're gonna measure everything out first. What I've done here is these are the 2 poles that we're gonna keep everything together here. Basically, I've marked the line on how deep I want to put them into the ground. So 2.5 feet here, and then we're gonna do the first cross bar here and the second one here. These are about 20 inches apart, and this is about, I think, 32 inches from the ground is where the first cross beam is going to be. So what I've done is I've marked off a space basically of 3.5 inches. I'm gonna be cutting out this part here only halfway in, so I'm not gonna cut through, obviously. I'm gonna do this here and here and here and here as well. And I'm going to do the same exercise on the cross beams. Again, here is the center point, 1.75 inches from the center on each side. I'm going to be cutting in here halfway and halfway, and I'm going to repeat this. I'm basically going to get 3 out of those smaller ones from this long piece of lumber here. I'm going to mark off the center, cut in there, and then once everything is said and done, I will be able to basically bolt them together like this, and I'm going to be all neat and lined up. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be finishing up here the marks, and then we can start cutting. We're going to measure again, always measure twice and cut once is what I've learned. So we're going to re-measure everything, and then we'll start cutting. All right, so we'll be using a circular saw here, and one thing that's important is if you're a sawing noob as I am, it's important to notice that there is a lever that you can use to adjust the depth of the cut basically. And so you want to make sure you dial in there 1.75 inches, because that's halfway into this piece of wood here. So we're going to be dialing in here 1.75. We're going to tighten it up, and that means our cut won't be any deeper than 1.75 inches. And in case you might wonder, if I make a cut here and a cut here, then how are you gonna get that out? And the trick to that is you just keep cutting in, we might be cutting in here, I don't know, maybe 10-15 times or so, and then you can simply use a screwdriver to pry it out. Very simple. So let's do the cutting first, and then we'll get a screwdriver and I'll show you what I mean by that. Make sure you have your safety gear on, and then we'll start this. So this is what I mean. You don't have to be very precise here with those cuts in the middle. You just keep chopping away and then you can simply break them out. So let's keep moving. What you can do is just get it in there and start prying. Comes out fairly easily. So you just take this whole thing and take it out. And if you want to, you can, smooth it out here a little bit. Like break out some more, so it's maybe a little bit smoother on the edges. You can do that. Alright, that was number one. Now we're going to repeat this here, and here, and here, and here, and here and here obviously. And then we cut these to size, and we can screw them together. Let's do it. Alright, so now our posts are done. Alright, so we're done with our cutting, and now ideally these fit together, and they do. So we're gonna fit them like so, and then we'll just fasten them or secure them with the bolts that I have, and we do 2 and 2 or 3 and 3, doesn't really matter. And then we're gonna drill holes, 1 on each side. And we repeat this with the other pole, and then the next part is to dig a hole, 2 holes, to bury them, and that should be it. And now we're gonna secure the cross beams here with those bolts, and for that we're gonna drill a pilot hole. Alright, so we decided in terms of where we're going to drill the holes for the eye hooks that we're going to go 4 inches in from here, and the same on this side. So we basically going to have a hook here and here. That means we can train our raspberries within that corridor here basically, because here are going to be the wires then from one side to the other. So 4 inches in is what we decided we're going to do. But that's obviously up to you and how much space you have, and how long your cross beams here are. Also, you might have noticed I'm not using a washer here because I'm short on washers, it turns out, and I'm too lazy to go to Home Depot, and I'd rather finish this basically. And it actually works well without a washer, so just be careful not to drill it in too much so the wood doesn't crack. So I was just digging the 2 holes, 2 feet deep approximately, and used one of these, makes it easier instead of just a shovel. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So we dug the holes, and we're ready to install the trellis. Alrighty, so hole is dug, holes are dug. Now we're gonna put them in, cover them up, and add the wires or the strings, and we should be ready to roll. Let's start here. Alright, now we got number 2. Turned out we're pretty tight here. Didn't take the fence post into account. So it's not 100% straight, I want to say, but straight enough. Doesn't really matter. Alright, now the wire, and we're done. Alright, now we're gonna Get the wire in place. And the cool thing about those eye hooks is that we can just turn them to tighten it up in case, you know, the soil starts sagging or something. We can always tighten it back up if we have to without having to take off the rope. All right, here's number one. All right, and that was pretty much it. Wasn't all too difficult at all. Took maybe, I mean, all in all, it probably took a couple of hours, you know, to dig the hole, paint the lumber, etc. But it's not rocket science, even for someone like me who is not very handy. And that was pretty much it. If you like our video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, let us know in the comments what you could have done better. And I hope you can use some of those tips to build your trellis. And we're gonna put all of the parts that we used, all of the measurements, etc. down in the description. So check that out and build your own trellis at home. Until next time.